Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Gemini March 2023 weekly Tarot Bite reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. So hi, everyone, and welcome. Now, this reading is meant to be a quick mini reading, a true little bite of out of what is usually my much longer and more in-depth illumination reading. So this is just a quick look at the week ahead. Oh my goodness, this card has come out, I think, for 4 different signs this week. So there is a lot to be said about this energy here. I'll go a little deeper into that in a second. But we're going to be looking just at an overall theme for the week ahead. Then we'll be looking at a doorway that wants to open up for you, that Spirit would like you to walk through so that you can keep yourself in alignment with your spiritual path to spiritual growth and elevation. So right here, we have earth healing. This is kind of the main overarching theme for the week ahead. It's number 38, which breaks down to the master number 11, which is the doorway, the portal between what currently is and what can be, the elevated experience that you are now ready to step into if you have the courage to step through that portal and really have that confidence to know that you are co-creating with Spirit. The Spirit is there, kind of like in this image, really kind of handing you, almost like handing you that divine like leg up through the doorway that's opening. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read the description, just the small description that comes with this oracle deck, and it says, you are making a real contribution to the planet through your spiritual journey. Remember this and believe that your needs will be generously met by the earth and the universe. What you are doing matters and you will be supported. Love that. Now, for some of you, this might be around children, which is interesting. There's a lot of that imagery coming through here. It's really resonating more with me now than it did with maybe the previous signs that it came out for. So that might be a specific individual message. But I really do feel that this week is, for many of us, a week that is having us focus on really turning the attention back towards ourselves, back towards our own unique internal gifts, abilities, and then kind of looking external to us to get ready to face the changes as we move into Aries season, which is the start to, it's basically the Zodiac New Year. Aries is the first sign in the Zodiac. So this time period heralds that kind of new, fresh restart energy. But it's a change for many of us on an individual level as much as it's a change for us on a collective level, because we are going through some major planetary shifts this month. One specifically, we have Saturn moving into Pisces, which is a very big deal. And we have Mars that was retrograde in Gemini for a long period of time. It has since gone forward, but we were kind of in that shadow phase of coming out of that. That is finally done. We are going to have Mars moving into Cancer. And so it's a whole nother world. You're going to feel lighter, Gemini. You're going to feel kind of like you've been released from this like internal holding pattern, or almost like you were leashed to something that you couldn't quite free yourself from. So it's gonna feel kind of cleansing, I think, for many of you this next week ahead. Ooh, yeah, interesting. Okay, so for some of you, so this is the doorway that's opening up for many of you, and it's going to involve having to walk away from something that is no longer fulfilling. Because I think for many of you, so we have the King of Pentacles, we have the Four of Cups, and we have the Eight of Cups. King of Pentacles speaks to really being quite abundant in your physical experience. It can really speak to also just being at that place where you are more financially focused. We've all had, Taurus kind of prominently in the spotlight astrologically for many of us, which is the sign that does not only rules the King of Pentacles, but also is the sign that really speaks to a focus on the physical, where we are looking at our time, energy, and physical, financial abundance. And we're looking at really our value in all of that. And I think for many of you, you might have maybe been doing an assessment of your self-worth, your self-value, what your time and energy is worth to you. And there was something that just wasn't satisfying in that. The Four of Cups speaks to kind of, this general level of dissatisfaction, that we're looking at all of these cups outside of ourselves, and it's just like, I don't know. I'm trying to make that one work and I'm just not feeling it. I'm trying to make that one work and I'm just not feeling it. And yet here is your cup being handed to you by this Monty Python-esque hand coming through, saying, here, remember your cup. Remember what you need to feel fulfilled. Remember a dream that you've long forgotten. Remember, it's almost like the divine kind of handing you that cup to refresh you and replenish you, and to say, remember, it's about you and what you want, not what others kind of place on you to want. And I think for many of you, this week is that week where you finally realize, yeah, it's time to walk away. It's time to move on from something that you probably have long invested a lot of time and emotional, time and energy, with the King of Pentacles coming in here, but also where you put a lot of emotional investment. This can be where you were really working towards building a business, or you were really working towards building, a family or a long-term romantic partnership, or you were really working towards, working your way up in a career path or something like that. And it's just saying, unfortunately you got to a certain point, the 8 cups, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time, energy, and investment. And it was at a certain point, it was no longer fulfilling. It was no longer honoring what was in your cup. It was bringing you more to focus on the external, to seek emotional gratification than it was actually, just in and of itself, allowing you to feel emotionally satisfied. And that's why the individual decides to finally walk away. That yes, it took a lot of time and energy and emotional investment to have these 8 cups. And some might look at those 8 cups and say, wow, you'd be crazy to walk away from that. And yet it's now that time to say, yeah, I am that crazy, because this is in honor of my needs and my dreams that are not being met if I stay in this place. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull a Power of Surrender card, and this is where Spirit would like you to have the courage to surrender to the message on this card, so that you really can walk through this doorway towards leaving something behind that you had long invested in. And again, I think this is after a lengthy review of your own personal value, of what you value, of what you want to physically experience on the physical side of your life experience. And also realizing too, I think for many of you, what you're truly capable of. You might have mastered the art of saving, or you might have mastered the art of really being able to work with your physical environment. And that might be what's giving you the courage to finally, make this move here. So it says, surrender to miracles. It says, be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. Yeah. And this can be where, I feel like this is just a double confirmation for many of us when we decide when it's time to finally walk away from something. We can get to that place of, okay, yeah, we're going to walk away, but you know what? That thing I'm hoping to walk towards, it might never happen to me, and probably not. And that's the strange way. A lot of times we'll truly get the courage to walk away from something. And then suddenly, as we're walking away from it, we get to this place of like, almost like the what is that fable with, oh gosh, I can't think of it. But it's like, about jealousy and about the fruit on the tree. And it's like, oh, probably the fruit didn't even taste good anyways. It's almost like that, where we get to this place of we don't believe that this will actually happen. And I can give an example of that in my life. When I left my ex-husband and my whole life had to, have this dramatic kind of about face, I didn't know what to expect. All I knew was that I had to rely on where I felt I was of value and where that value wasn't being honored in my life experience. And I just knew that I wasn't happy. I was dissatisfied with everything that was in my current experience. And in order for me to change that, I had to start meeting my own needs. I had to start taking action towards what would bring emotional fulfillment to me. But there was this feeling, because I had to go through all of that, in my early to mid 30s, that I might never have that family I so hoped I would be walking towards. I might never have that fulfilling career that I hoped to seek out and find. I might not ever have a life of adventure that I really wanted to bring in, or a life that would allow me to express my creativity in unique and inspiring ways. And what's interesting is that there have been so many miracles, miraculous meetings, miraculous just divine inspiration and downloads that have come through along that path as I chose to step by step walk away, that, truly have shocked me. And again, have led to my life unfolding in a way that is even better than I could have hoped when I first turned my back to my 8 cups. So really keep that in mind, Gemini, when you start to maybe second guess yourself, or you start to have that fear that creeps in of, it still might never happen, or it might not happen the way that I want it. And it's like, yeah, it might not happen the way you want it, but it might be even better. And that's the miracle of life. Okay, so you guys have Bat Spirit. It says a rebirth is assured. Number 5, which is the energy of change. I love this, because when you think about it, when we're walking away from something, this is a massive sacrifice. This is when you might be walking away from, like how I had to walk away from it, like the home, the stable partnership that had been a long-term, part of my life experience, even having to walk away from a job, walking away from all of my belongings, walking away from a way of being. And yet that rebirth in who I have become at this point, it was assured, because I chose to really not be afraid of working with the energy of change and growth. And for many of you, this is that double confirmation that whatever is opening up for you this week, whether it's an opportunity to, again, move on from something, or just to start that process of moving on from something that has long been not or unsatisfying to you, that this will lead to truly a rebirth where you are going to be more divinely inspired. I do love with this earth healing card that there's that specific, the last line is that you will be divinely supported. So really have faith that those miracles are going to come in, that step by step are going to allow you to support you, whether it's that job opportunity you weren't expecting, whether it's the chance meeting of the next love of your life, whatever it is, know that those miracles are waiting to come in for you, so that this rebirth can and will be assured. All right, I'm going to leave it there, Gemini. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. If you'd like to watch your expanded reading, the illumination readings were posted last week. I'll be posting a new round of illuminations next week as well. All right, I will see you all then. Bye, Gemini.